I would like to invite Guntram Glasbrenner, Program Manager from GIZ Proklima, to wrap up this summit with me, and I'm really curious to learn what your main takeaways are. Welcome, Guntram.
Thank you, Julika. Well, I have to say I was quite impressed by a number of presentations, and certainly I would like to thank again all the presenters for being here and sharing their insights. And I was also impressed by the number of participants and the number of countries represented by the participants. I have not taken note of all of them, but I have seen Mexico, Ghana, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Vietnam, Mongolia. So really a wide variety. So that's really great. I think it's quite clear that technical solutions are available, and the technical solutions, they are ready to be marketed. They are feasible. They are technically viable, they are safe, even if there is still some criticism about flammability of natural refrigerants. But in the meantime, there are so many cases, and we see this with the fridges, that it is also safe to handle this technology. So I think it's not anymore really an argument. And as it also was shown by Mr. Behringer, it's rather more the question now of the provision of renewable energies and energy efficiency standards, together with natural gases, which are the factor to reduce the emissions which are damaging the climate. So I think we have to concentrate really on changing the technologies to natural gases, and at the same time to look at renewable energies and the energy efficiency standards. What for me was maybe the most shocking figure was the information about the investments on active cooling in relation to passive cooling, where I think it was in the presentation from IFC, where it was shown that basically it's approximately from Analysa, yes, that it is approximately 30 billion in relation to 270 billion, and for the active cooling market. So the passive cooling is at the moment only 10-12% of the active cooling market, and I think this figure needs to change. I think we really need to differentiate what is the individual best solution and what is the best solution on a society level. And I think from the individual perspective, an AC is always quite a feasible solution, and but not necessarily on the society level. So I think on the society level, district cooling and also passive cooling is much more important. And I think the big question is how to increase the possibilities for countries to set up frameworks and plans to develop strategically from innovate that this hierarchy is really established. So starting from what is the requirements on the national level, what is the requirement on the urban level, and then what is based on this framework then the best technology on the individual level. The framework should be in such a way that then the individual can take for her or his personal needs the most effective way, but still based on what is best for the society. And I think we still have some way to do there.
Thank you very much, Guntram. And what lies ahead of us? What should we expect if you will lean into a little outlook? Maybe when we meet again for our next Green Cooling Summit next year, what development, what changes do you expect?
Well, I think there there is still a lot to do in the present situation. But I think Ole Nielsen was showing quite nicely is that there is still, even if we say there is a movement and some dynamic towards natural gases, and also with the F-gas regulation of the European Union, at least in Europe, the HFCs or the involvement of natural gases will take place. The availability of this equipment is still not satisfactory. We know that there are a number of companies, Godrej and Midea and others, who are producing these appliances, but it's still too little. And I think one of the questions is we have to address is how to really get the companies convinced to bring it on the market and to distribute it also. At the same time, we know that also the training of technicians need to continue so that it's also really safely installed and operated, maintained. But I think that's one package. So the continuation of what was done in the last, I think for GIZ already in the last 30 years. So the marketing of natural gases and the upscaling of appliances run with natural gases. But I think we also need to look more into, again, also the whole chain. So what is a structured way to address the reduction of heat loads? And I think we had very nice presentations of urban heat islands and what could be possibilities to address urban heat islands, to improve greenery, which is also contributing to the climate in the urban area, but also having an impact on health, a positive impact on the health. So I think, again, it would be really great if we would concentrate a little bit more on, from the beginning, what is the society need and how can we address the urban areas in a more general way, and then improving the situation on an individual level. I think one figure we have to keep in mind, and that's that up to 2050, 80% of the buildings which will exist 2050 are not yet constructed in Africa. And so this means there will be a huge construction need. And I think it will be always under this pressure to have buildings which are affordable at the one side, but at the same time are providing a comfort which is acceptable for the people. So it's certainly from the European perspective, it's much more about we have the buildings already there. So in a lot of countries, we need to address buildings which are there, and it will be more difficult to bring in more advanced or let's say passive approaches to areas where it's already constructed. It's still possible, as we see in Barcelona, but also limited. Whereas I think in new areas, in new construction sites, there are much more possibilities. And I think there the contribution from Jossa Alosh was very helpful, because she was really giving this very structured approach. What are different technologies which can be used to address this in a systematic way? So that was extremely nice. So I think to reply, we need to address the continuation of our work to further upscale natural gas systems, but at the same time address also passive cooling needs.
Thank you very much, Guntram Glasbrenner, for your recap.